Welcome back to Get Set Builds. You may recall in a previous episode that I mentioned we would need horses for our future medieval builds. Well, here's the first of those builds. Today, we're going to be looking at how to build the Crusader's cart. I'm not entirely sure why this is called the Crusader's cart when it's clearly operated by two forest thieves. Even though this episode features this horse-drawn cart, which will be uploaded to the prefab gallery as the Crusader's cart, today's episode is actually about this troublesome piece, the horse harness. I've attempted to make this piece before as seen here in this hovercraft. However, this isn't right at all. This is the piece we're trying to make. There's just one problem with it. These poles are clearly diagonal. So how do we make our pole diagonal? To build this, we start by placing a micro bearing in the center of the pole on each end. It may be tempting to use a servo bearing to set the target angle. However, you'll soon see why we didn't. Next, we attach a pole to our bearing and stretch it to the desired length. About like this will do. Use your manipulator tool to lock the pole in place. Next, place a socket on the end of your pole. Use the manipulator tool to attach the socket to the other bearing. At this point, it's much easier to fine-tune the length of the pole. You may have noticed that the pole is off-center. If you now use your resize tool to move it to the correct position, the bearings will be inside of the pole, keeping them out of the way if we build with tight tolerances later. And because we connected both ends with a standard bearing, we won't be fighting any torque created by a servo later. Now, you may be tempted to keep your object count down by creating a crossbeam and then connecting a pole on the other side. However, regardless of how you set up the collision settings, the space inside of the part will be recognized as a solid piece, and that can cause undesired collision behavior. To prevent this, you'll simply want to connect both sides separately, and your cart should now behave as expected. However, if you don't want to mess around with all of this, the horse harness and the cart horse attachment will both be uploaded to the prefab gallery. In order to design your own cart or carriage for the horse attachment, you will need a seat, as well as at least one set of wheels. By default, the horse will be set to tank steering. However, you may want to change this in your engine settings. Next, use the connection tool to wire your seat into the horse's input router located on its back. Next, connect your horse's output router to your wheel joint. Use the R key to grab an additional wire from the same point and connect it to the other wheel joint. At this point, your cart should be functional, allowing you to create your own design. See what you can come up with. This cart has a hidden smuggling compartment. Have fun out there, and I'll see you next time on Get Set Builds.